Hey, I'm John Cannell, and today on Preppy Kitchen, we're making easy, amazing oatmeal muffins. So let's get started. And thanks to Quaker Oats for sponsoring today's video. These muffins really come together quick, so get that oven nice and hot, 425 Fahrenheit. We're gonna get the best dome ever. First off, line your muffin tin with papers and grab your oats. I'm using old-fashioned rolled oats today. These have such a wonderful texture, and we're gonna make it even more amazing by soaking them in milk first. Into a large bowl, I want 1.5 cups or 168 grams. And now I also want 1 cup of whole milk. It's gonna give you the best texture. I love these muffins so much. These oatmeal muffins are a great way to add more nutrition to something super delicious. We're gonna set this aside to soak for about 10 minutes, and in the meantime, let's get our dry ingredients together. In the medium bowl, I'm adding 1 cup or 120 grams of all-purpose flour. Sometimes I make this recipe with whole wheat flour. That's totally an option too. But today we're using all-purpose. But because I was talking, I added way too much into the bowl. Scales make everything happy. And precise. See, it's almost no flour, like, that's practically nothing. Now, 1¼ teaspoons of baking powder from a tiny cute canister. Look how cute that is. It drives me crazy. I could just pretend I'm a giant. There we go. 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, 3/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Cinnamon and oats with milk and brown sugar is amazing, but so many other spices you could add. Allspice, cardamom, ginger, nutmeg, whatever you want. You could even go pumpkin spice on this and no one's gonna say anything bad. And then finally, a little salt. What am I doing? Anyways, the final important ingredient is salt. Spaced out. The final important ingredient is salt. Just 1/2 teaspoon gives you so much contrast and really rounds these muffins out. 10 minutes later, this bowl is giving you major overnight oats vibes. Overnight oats vibes. This bowl is giving you major overnight oats vibes. It is gonna be so good. Into this bowl, we're gonna add everything else, starting with 1/2 cup or 110 grams of light brown sugar. Break these up with your fingers. You don't want any big clumps of sugar in here. And the molasses in brown sugar makes a clump. It also makes it delicious though. It's a trade-off. I also want 1/3 cup of veggie oil. This makes them really soft and they can come straight from the fridge and just be wonderful. In you go. This recipe is a viewer request, and at first I was like, oatmeal muffins, that sounds kind of boring. But then I was like, wait a second, we can pack this full of delicious stuff, and the nice thing is, they're tasty and sweet, feels like you're having the most amazing addition to your breakfast ever. But it's like a grab and go situation. So the kids love it, I love it, and I actually eat these throughout the week. I just keep them in the fridge, or you can also store them at room temperature, and they're delicious. Today's video is sponsored by Quaker Oats. Today's video is sponsored by Quaker Oats. Quaker Oats is a versatile ingredient that lets me create wonderful, delicious recipes for my family. They're great in breakfast, lunch, dessert, and even dinner. Try Quaker Oats today, and now let's get back to the recipe. Today I'm doing a best practice and cracking the eggs into a separate bowl like you should, but I often don't, I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes I just don't feel like it, and I'll have to fish a shell out. But doing it this way lets you give it a little bit of a mix first. This only takes a few minutes to prep for the oven, but they last for 4 to 5 days in a sealed container at room temperature, or you can freeze them for up to a month, and they're a delicious on-the-go treat. Plop those eggs in there, give this a quick stir, and right now it looks kind of crazy because there's no flour. That's why. Normally, I start a recipe by whisking the dry ingredients, you set it aside, you go on to the rest. Here, it's actually really nice for those oats to soak in all the flavors. So I'm gonna set this aside one more time, and now we're gonna whisk those dry ingredients up. There we go. All that cinnamon distributed along with the baking powder. We return to our wet ingredients. Now we're gonna add our dry ingredients in. Fold this in gently. These muffins are amazing, but when you overmix any kind of a flour, you're gonna develop the gluten, and you know what's gonna happen? They'll get a little gummy, a little tough, and they won't be as delicious. All the problems in baking, I swear, like 99% of them, come from mismeasuring your flour, overmixing your batter. So just avoid those two things, and you're gonna be so much happier. Say hello to your muffin tin, grab a triggered scoop. This is 1/3 cup, it's so handy. We're gonna scoop it up and divide the batter equally between your 12 muffins. They're gonna be almost full, or a little bit full. I would say start with a little bit less than 1/3 cup of batter in each muffin paper. When I was learning how to bake, one of the most annoying and like fraught points for me was filling muffins and cupcakes, because the recipes, I swear, would never tell you how full they should be. And I was like, what do I do? I would actually call my mom. I was like, Mom, help. Okay. Really overfilled these muffins, oh my gosh. Today, I was in the mood for some larger muffins, so I got 11 out of the batch, but you can spread this between 12. I'm finishing this off with a little bit of sugar. This is turbinado sugar, but you could skip it. You could add any kind of sugar you like brown sugar, and it just gives you a little bit of a sweet finish or a sweet start to the cupcake. Muffin. They're muffins. You also want to add a smattering of oats on top, just so you can see, hey, these are oatmeal muffins. Our muffins are ready to go into the oven, 425, nice and hot, so they get a really good dome, but we don't want to burn them, so reduce to 350 after 7 minutes and bake an additional 12 to 15 until you have a little bit of bounce on the top. If I'm telling you these are one of my favorite muffins, you've got to try this recipe. I could eat that all day long. Those oats have such a wonderful chew, and this muffin is melt in your mouth. Amazing. I hope you get a chance to make this recipe, and if you like this video, check out my muffin playlist. Thanks again to Quaker Oats for sponsoring this video.